Hi everyone, it's Brittany. Welcome back to Brittany's Southern Kitchen. Today is going to be my first video of a weekend-long What's for Dinner. The first meal is going to be budget-friendly, and tomorrow will be something not so budget-friendly, but it's a really good Southern meal that I think everyone will enjoy. So today we're going to do tomato and okra. It is not homemade, it's out the can. I have already gotten started for y'all, just so the video won't be so long. I went ahead and did my rice. I cooked it on the stove top. You do 2 parts water to 1 part rice. You bring it to a boil. You put a cover on it, let it cook for 25 minutes, and it's done. I also went ahead and cooked my cornbread. That was for the Jiffy cornbread mix. It's only 50 cents a box. The rice you can get for $1. Inside my tomato okra, I am adding shrimp. You can also add sausage in it to make it even cheaper. But if you go to Walmart, you could get 1 bag of shrimp for $5. Use half of it for $2.50, so that brings you right under $6 for this meal. I am also going to cook a New York strip with it, so that is completely optional. That's just what I'm adding for our table here in my home. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking my tomato okra and show you how it's done. I already seasoned and pre-cooked my shrimp, so I'm just going to add that back into my pot here. Then I'm going to add in my 2 cans of tomato okra. I'm not going to drain them. You definitely can use more. In this one, I just have the Trapeze brand. You can use any brand that you like. Get both of those poured in. Like I said, keep the juice because it's going to be over rice, so you definitely want that to be juicy in there. As far as seasonings, I'm going to add a little bit of mixed garlic. I'm going to add salt and pepper and my Tony's Creole seasoning. Let me get all those things together. And I do have my pan going on about medium-high heat at the moment. I'm going to add in my pepper right now. All these seasonings are completely optional. We like spicy food here where I'm at, so I'm going to add in quite a bit of the Tony's. Just a little bit of salt if you're using Tony's, because that definitely has enough in it for you. And just 1 teaspoon of the minced garlic. And that's the only reason I'm adding the minced garlic and everything is because it's not homemade. So you want to spice it up so it won't taste like it's coming out of a can. And then you just bring this to a boil after you stir it all together. And just let it all come back heated through. Like I said, my shrimp are already cooked. I pre-seasoned those with a little bit of Tony's salt, pepper. I put them in a pan. I get them cooked, and I add butter just to give them some flavor of their own. And then I pour them into here with the tomato okra. Now, as far as my New York strip steak goes, again, this is completely optional. This is just what I'm adding here for us tonight. The tomato okra and rice and cornbread is a meal all on its own that you can make for under $6. But my first things first I'm going to do is I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan like I did. And I'm just going to let that come to a rapid heat. I already have a New York strip here that I have in a Ziploc bag that I pre-seasoned. And I froze it like that, and then I unthaw it with the seasonings. To me, it just gives it extra flavor. Once this gets hot, I will then put my steak in the pan and let it sear for 3 minutes per side while this is still coming up to a boil.
Action.
Okay, so the tomato okra has came to a boil. I'm going to turn it down to about number 2, so medium-low heat, and just to keep it simmering to get everything heated fully through. My olive oil is sizzling, so I'm about to add in my steak to it. And I'm just going to let that cook on high heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. We like ours medium rare to medium. And it's already pre-seasoned, so you don't have to put anything on it. But what I used for my steak is some Tony's Creole seasoning and some Badia Complete and just a little bit of my pink Himalayan salt and some black pepper. Again, those are totally optional. We like spicy food, so that's why I add the Tony's. But if you just add salt, pepper, and the Badia Complete, that's all you need to add to it. Okay, so it's been cooking for around 3 minutes. So now I'm just going to flip it over. Oh, look at that. And now I'm just going to let it cook for another 3 minutes per side. My tomato okra is still cooking at a low heat just to keep it warm until we're ready to plate. In 3 minutes, I will sear the sausages, let it rest for 3 to 5 minutes, and then cut it up and plate it for y'all. Okay, so now the second side has cooked for 3 minutes. Look at that. So now I'm going to cut my heat all the way down to low because my pan is really, really hot. I'm going to add, normally I would add fresh garlic, but today I didn't have any, so I'm just going to add some of this minced garlic here. And I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of butter really fast. Mix that around. And I'm just going to baste my steak. This is completely optional because, like I said, I had pre-seasoned my steak. I froze it with the seasoning, and I took it out and let it unthaw in my refrigerator for 2 days, so it's well seasoned. So I'm just going to run this around just to get that garlic flavor everywhere. I'm now going to put it on my cutting board to rest for 3 to 5 minutes. And get it cut up. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys how good my steak came out. Perfect medium rare on both, all the way through. Alright, now let's get this plated up so we can eat. This is more, to me, it feels more like a stew. So definitely can serve it how you want. I think it's even really good over mashed potatoes if you like mashed potatoes over rice. All right, let me add some pieces of cornbread in there for you. And this is what we call Southern cooking. And this is what we're having tonight on Saturday. Hi everyone, welcome back. How to do a baked crab and shrimp boil. So first things first, I always do, this is optional, but this is something I always do, is I start by washing my seafood just because they touch it and everything, and sometimes it'll have different discoloration at the bottom, and I think that looks better if you get it washed. So I'm going to wash each one of these separately. And this is a lot easier if it's, especially like in the winter time, if it's cold outside, you don't have to be outside with a big boiler or anything. You can be indoors. You don't have to cut your stove on. You just cut your oven on and you let this cook, and it makes it so much easier. And it still tastes the same way. Alright, so we got all of those washed here. I'm now going to wash my hands and then get over to cutting up my other stuff. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to get everything cut back up. So these were all my store had was the big corn on the cobs, and I like to have the mini ones, so I am going to cut these in half. These are very optional, but I like to get the super sweet corn on the cob, and this is the Kroger brand, but I like to get the super sweet kind because you are putting all that seasoning in on it. And I did unthaw these, so they should be easy to cut up. I think I might need a bigger knife. Okay, so I got these cut up. It was a little harder than I thought because they wasn't unthawed all the way. I forgot to mention I am cooking this in a foil pan. It just makes it a lot easier to cook and to clean up after the mess. You just start putting everything in there as you start cutting it up. So the next thing I'm going to cut up is my potatoes. We're not a huge potato fan, so I am going to cut these just in 4s, and I'm only going to use 2. If you like the potatoes, use more. Use whatever you like. If you don't like corn, don't use it. If you like, this is also good with mushrooms, but I'm not a mushroom fan, so I don't use mushrooms. And I want everything to be done at the same time, so I am making them smaller. I'm cutting them in half, and then half again, and those in 2s. The corn is also completely thawed out as well. It just makes cooking a lot easier, and you can start this any time of the day. The next thing is going to be sausage. Again, any kind you like. I just picked up the Zatarain's brand. I am going to use both links. And you can put them in there whole, or you can chop them up. I think I'm going to put mine in halves and put it right in the foil pan. Please use whatever ingredients you got on hand or whatever you like. This is completely up to your taste. Everybody has a different taste for everything. Now while I'm getting everything finished cutting up in the foil pan, I'm going to put a whole stick of butter here in this pan. I'm going to cut it on about medium-high heat. I'm going to put some minced garlic in there. And this is going to go over the top of it once I get everything in the foil pan. I'm just going to do about 2 teaspoons, 2.5. And you're going to let that melt while you're getting everything put in there. The next thing I'm going to do is some raw shrimp. You definitely want the kind that is completely raw and that has the shell on. And I'm just going to throw these in there as well. I think I may need some more shrimp, so I'm going to get a few more out of the freezer. Okay, so this is coming up to a boil. It's almost completely melted. Now I'm going to add in some of my Louisiana crawfish, shrimp, and crab boil mix. I already have some open here, so I'm going to use that first. Now this is very spicy, so if you're not super big on spice, don't put too much. If you want it just a little kick, you can do a little bit. It's kind of hard to go by the directions on the bag because it's going off of using big quantities. Though this is just for 2 people, but we like things very spicy here in my house. So I put roughly, I would say about half a cup in there with this 1 stick of butter. I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit over my shrimp, corn, sausage, and potato. just a little bit because I'm going to sprinkle more on top once I add in my crab. So now I'm about to get that and put that on top of there as well. This here is 3 pounds of crab and about a pound of shrimp, 1 whole pound of sausage, 8 corns cut up, and 2 potatoes. Okay, last one going in. Okay, my butter sauce is completely done. So I'm now going to sprinkle a little bit more of this crab bowl mix on the top. Again, if you use just the butter mixture that I'm mixing up over here, that is plenty if you're not into spice. Alright, I'm now going to pour this all over the top of this. And I always put my crabs on top and let everything at the bottom takes longer to cook than the crabs. So I'm just going to pour it all over. As you can see, you got the garlic all over top. Make sure that we get all the seasoning and butter out of there. The next thing I do before I wrap it with foil is I take another stick of butter. I chop it in cubes, roughly about 6 to 7 cubes, and I stick them all in here so they can melt while it's cooking. And that just gives it extra flavor. Okay, and I think I got plenty seasonings, plenty garlic, plenty of butter. I'm now going to take my foil and wrap it. I already have my oven preheated at 425. This takes between 45 minutes to an hour. I do start checking it around 40 minutes or so. Right before it gets completely done, I do take the cover off and I just let it cook for the last 10 to 15 minutes or so. So I'll get this wrapped up and put in the oven, and we'll see you when everything's done. Okay, so it's been right at 45 minutes. My timer just went off. I'm now going to slide this pan out. And it smells so good. I need another oven mitt. It's very hot, so if you have somebody that can take this out for you, definitely let them take it out. I'm very heavy. Okay, close this back up, and we are going to take the foil off. So right now in this process is you got your butter all in there. I don't know if y'all can see it very well. So I got you just a little closer there so you can see things a little better. I am going to put another stick of butter on here. So this does take roughly three sticks of butter, but it is a lot of food and seafood in there, so it's not totally you eating 3 full sticks of butter. For my butter I'm using today, I'm using the Blue Bonnet. This is just the brand that I prefer. It's like 98 cents a box and you get 4 sticks. I only have 1 left. I've used 3 of them. But this is just a brand I like. You can use any butter you prefer. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back in the oven. I'm going to turn this up to 450, and this is going to cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so this did cook about 10 minutes longer, so about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm just going to take this out here. And I don't need the bottom tray, you can take it out just the top. All that butter is melted, the shrimp, the corn, the sauce. Okay, so yes, I'm using the ice cream scooper. And I'm just using this to scoop the butter on top of these crab legs. Everything is soaking in the butter and the garlic. I'm just going to show you a little bit of each. So this is how the sausage turned out. I put these on top just to get them a little more brown. The corn, the potatoes, they poke straight through. You got the shrimp here. They're stuck together. So I do have two different sizes on the shrimp. I have extra large and large. Of course, you got the corn here, and then the snow crabs. Once this cools down, I'll show you what everything looks like. Okay. And as you can tell, this pulls straight apart. You got the crab meat here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any suggestions. And thank you for watching my first video of my weekend what's for dinner, as well as don't forget to like and subscribe. All the recipe will be in the description box below.